Marcus Buckingham just presented at our client conference, and he's written a new book about love, and he's been studying love, and he's a very interesting man. His firm was sold to ADP, which is the largest payroll company in the company, and he gets to study 400 million Americans that are employed. He talked about is that he's been studying, similar to us, exemplar performance, right? Looking at, like, one of the stories he talked about was a large coffee retailer, a very large one. And what he did is he looked at the organizations that had the highest satisfaction and the highest performance, the one or two that were way at the top, right? Not the big masses. And what he found consistently, we found the same thing, is the people in those operations, they love their boss. They love their work. They love their coworkers, and they love their customers. And they use the word love. Love is a description, right? And when people describe the best periods of their life in work, they use the word love freely, right? And to me, it's there because it's true. As being a leader is similar to and requires that we have, as long as people are working with us and for us, an unconditional or forgiving love for the people that work for us, because they are in our service, they're in our care. But what's interesting that Marcus has also said, which I agree with, is the counter to that is that we live in a society, certainly in the States, and I know in Europe, probably more so here, where the expectations and the tools that we provide managers are more about protecting the organization, sometimes from its employees. And so we have barriers in place as managers that make it hard to actually do the right thing. And so the best leaders are able to comply, but they transcend and they lead people at a human level, because after all, you can't really separate, being human when you go to work. I mean, I bring everything to work. There's certain things that I park during the day, but ultimately my human experience is heavily informed by my employment experience. And my employment experience is heavily informed by the experience that I have with my leader and with my coworker and with the customers or the people that I serve. So it's funny. I really believe that it's literally right under our nose. And I've always believed that if leaders understood, number one, the power that they have to ruin people's lives or to make their lives wonderful, if leaders just understood that they have this power to ruin the dinner conversation, that they would take what they did more seriously. And the second thing, if they realize that if they can act as human beings and they need to bring this unconditional positive regard to their people first, that then and only then can they get the most out of them. And then the third thing is being a leader is very human, and the things that we crave are the things that people below us crave. And what happens to leaders, and I call this the original sin, is they get to a point where they start to do things with people that they themselves would not tolerate. And that's where the problems begin. I mean, if you start doing something because you're a leader that you yourself would not tolerate and you didn't really put up very well with when you were a subordinate, then you're making that original error.